All right. Welcome back to It's New. We are fully back for now until somebody else is not here. But today we're back with you, and we got a lot to discover. Not with Google Discover or Google Explorer. It's actually gone. We'll talk about that tomorrow, maybe. I'm going to talk about how Google doesn't want you just to like move things around to circumvent their spam policies, and also why Google's hiding the results count for some people. Mordy, what do you got?
This new AI overview test is a chip off the old block.
And Greg?
And Google is on the button, literally, with its new misleading ad design policy.
And Crystal?
That's what notices are for on GA4.
All right. So some people are discussing how they could just move their stuff around on their website to circumvent any spam policies they may have received. This is regards to the site reputation abuse policy, where a bunch of sites were really hit hard by basically producing third-party content on their website. Greg and I and a bunch of us, I think Mordy and I, Greg was not on it. We thought Greg
was AWOL. We don't know where he was.
I forgot to set my alarm for 4:45.
Just slacker.
Anyway,
we discussed this last week, but now people are like, oh, we'll just move our content from one directory to another or to a subdomain. And Glenn Gabe pointed out, rightfully so, that Google has this policy called the policy circumvention. If a site continues to engage in actions intended to bypass our spam policies or content policies for Google search, we may take appropriate action, which may include yada, 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 whatever. Basically, one of the examples given was using existing or creating new subdomains, subdirectories, or sites that with the intention of continuing to violate our policies. So moving stuff around is not going to work. If you go ahead and do that, it might work for a little bit until Google catches you, and then they may go ahead and penalize the whole entire domain name instead of just a subdirectory or subfolder that you were doing. Got that, Mordy?
Sounds good. I'm going to stop doing that right now. I was in the middle of doing that, but now I'll stop.
Good. And just for people who think, oh, Forbes did it. Forbes did not do it. Forbes moved stuff around before all this happened weeks and weeks ago. And now people are like, oh, Forbes did it. Just look at the date. One of the people at Forbes, Jonathan Jones, was like, we did this a long time ago. I don't know when we didn't do this to circumvent Google's policy. We're not that dumb. Google, and in fact, Google's not that dumb to like, oh, you just move it. Google's like, oh, you're going to have to rank again really well. You might for a short-term period, but there's a reason why Google has these policies, so they can go ahead and clamp down on people or sites or other policies.
Or people.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they're clamping down on people now, huh? Like really ratcheting it up.
They are clamping. And then they're also hiding the results count for some people. People are constantly messaging me, I don't see the results count in the Google search results. So if you do a site command or you do any type of search, Google, sometimes it shows up on the tools menu, sometimes it doesn't. We discussed that before numerous times, but finally we have a response from Google on why they're doing this. Danny Sullivan, the Google search liaison, wrote on Blue Sky, which is a new place to be for everybody. He said, basically, we do generally try to have results present the most immediate useful information. Counts tend to be something researchers are interested in. So this is why we keep them available, but not distracting. So this is why they moved it under the tools menu, basically said. And they said the counts are not necessarily a measure of interest or popularity of terms. Plus, they are really broad estimates. Google Trends to be a far more robust tool for this. And he links to Google Trends, basically telling people stop using the results count. I suspect at some point Google's going to remove that results count, which is kind of sad, but it seems like Google's like setting the stage to removing it by hiding it for some people and so forth.
I think it's definitely going to go. Like, I don't like that it's going, because I like to get an idea of like if I'm in the ballpark in terms of like content topics or content ideas or even keywords. If I'm looking for something and like there's only a couple of results, I'm like, I might be on the wrong part of it. So it'll have a knock-on effect for tools providers as well. So I know SEMrush, for instance, will tell you how many search results there are. So I don't know if they're pulling that directly from that or if they're pulling it from somewhere else. But I think less visibility is less good.
Yeah, and then for the AI overviews, we want more visibility, don't we, Mordy?
I mean, I guess so. You know, whatever. Does it really matter anymore? Nothing matters anymore. Anyhow,
Nihilism with Mordy Oberstein. everyone.
We are nihilist, Lebowski. We care about nothing. Google AI overviews in card block format. So it's reported by Barry Schwartz and SC Roundtable. There was a keyword. So it was iPhone benefits was the keyword, or one of the keywords here. And you're getting multiple cards in a block format that breaks down the issue by subtopics. So we're talking about like iPhone, benefits. There's security. That's one. Software updates. Another. Durability. Another. There's a little bit of a summary in there, and you can click through for a whole AI overview on that subtopic. I don't know, whatever you like it, don't like it. I always think, and I've been griping about for years, there needs to be more subtopical breakdown on the SERP. So from that point of view, I like it.
Yeah,
but I don't want to say I like AI overviews. I don't want people to hunt me down and like hurt me.
And one of the things they announced was like AI overviews to categorize the search results, which they've been doing on and off, testing it for many, many, many years. So that's not really new, but to categorize the AI overviews is like one step of AI on AI and AI, which is not really I wouldn't call it AI to categorize search results, but Google calls everything AI these days. So
did the stock price go up? Oh, let's check. I didn't open the other one.
I think it was down a lot since the DOJ. That being said, other things around what Google's trying to do with stuff just to mislead people, which makes no transition at all. But Greg, I'll let you do it there.
I think actually this is a good change, I would say. So for like the misleading ad design policy, they are, as of January 25th, or 23rd, sorry, of 2025, they are going to start cracking down on those buttons that you see with the ads. I print out soccer brackets and I print out like football brackets, like football week each week, and our kids we write them down, like who picked what. And I see this nonstop. I have like one site that I love going to called printyourbrackets.com. There are button ads everywhere, and it's so confusing. And I don't know why it took this long for Google to start cracking down on those fake buttons. You see them like anytime you go to some software site where you're trying to download something, there's a billion download buttons. But they're cracking down on that at the end of January 2025. And then Barry, you had also reported that.
Just one thing on that. So most people are like, "This is great. I'm so happy." I just saw one person respond, "Not sure how to feel about this. Seems like a good way to drive more revenue for Google, if nothing else." Like, yeah, I guess.
Those are literally the worst ads on the internet. There's no worse ad.
And I think
can we agree on anything?
I don't know. I mean, I hate that. And some of them move around. You like try to click on it, it jumps away.
Always 10x the size of the real button you need to click on.
Yes,
right.
Yes, right. Always.
But
the real
AdSense actually has
link.
Yeah, the AdSense units. They have some units that actually look like that too, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't talk to each other. Anyway, go ahead, Greg.
So they're going to get rid of those deceptive buttons. And then Barry, you had said that there was a new note for people with a low budget. I think this has been around for a little bit. I'm not exactly sure of the wording. If you got to have a really low budget, a lot of times we'll see it when we start something and we have a campaign and it's paused and we just put it at $1 just because if we want to go through, double check, triple check, make sure all the targeting settings are there, and then we move it up. But I've seen this before. This might be new-ish, but they're just saying like, hey, you have $5 for your daily budget. The average people over like $20, but you only see it if it's like really, really low.
All right. I wanted to get the shake your cushion stuff in there, but not new. Okay, got it. But what is new with the new hat, Crystal? What do you got for us?
So over in GA4, everyone's favorite analytics suite, they have added in some merchant center recommendations. So this means that you will see recommendations directly within the recommendation section of analytics to help you with your Google Merchant Center listings. So this will alert you for issues where your product is not approved by Google Merchant Center and give you tools to sort of help you do this. I looked in analytics, I couldn't find this myself, so like have another look and make sure you spend some time looking for this. But I think I appreciate the gesture. So I hope that other people who are better with GA4 are able to find it. But basically, arguing with GA4 with Google Merchant Center product approvals is annoying. So anything that can help with that process is a win in my opinion. If anybody's asking, but yeah, I think it's great.
So
Awesome.
Do you think it's a win? I'm asking.
I think it's a win. I think big W there.
As long as the buttons are a little more distracting, you have to click on them to fix the issues. Then we're good to go. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Greg, how come we didn't do the football picks this year? Speaking of brackets,
I had a
you were
lot going
scared I was
on.
going to beat you again or tie you.
No,
again.
people are saying that at the conference too. I just have had too much going on. I had to paint this wall, Morty, as you well know.
Right. Sorry.
But one funny thing just about this show is I was talking with one of our sponsors for Marketing Clock, Goo, who's an ads visor, and we were walking to go get tacos at the show, and he's like, "Do you have another show you had mentioned?" I'm like, "Yes, it's new." And he's like, "Oh, okay, what's the name?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's new." And it was like, who's on first, like the whole time. And I just was so dumb. I didn't realize, like, I'm just saying it's new, like, and I'm not thinking about it. And he's like, I know it's new, but like, what's the name of the show? I'm like,
That's great.
it's new. And so
Base.
he commented, but I'm like, oh, I need to explain our show a little better.
That's the problem with the show. Nobody can find it.
Like, who's
Very
on first?
unoptimized.
Anyway, if you found it, thank you for listening, and thanks for subscribing and for all the commenting and all that other stuff, YouTubey stuff. Have a great day. We're back tomorrow with more. It's new. Bye-bye.